Well, Aura Storm, maybe it's because they're likely content creators, and having a boring discussion about microtransactions in a free-to-play game doesn't quite rate as content that will give them the clicks they want and need, as they ferociously yank on the udders of the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, they're likely one of those people who were vehemently against Pokemon Unite in the beginning, but ended up doing a complete 180 out of nowhere and settled for what they should expect from a free-to-play game like Pokemon Unite. So let's have a discussion about it, if this is to be the only one you see on this game for the foreseeable future. Please be very mindful of the predatory monetization in Pokemon Unite. People are making a big stink about the predatory monetization of Pokemon Unite because there are 5 monetization strategies in play compared to the typical 2 in MOBAs: cosmetics, battle pass levels, gacha pool increases, character purchases, and actual gameplay boosting items. Now all of this is Morse code, let alone a foreign language to me, because I've never played a MOBA, and Unite for that matter, because they quite frankly don't interest me. So do be warned that I'm going to focus specifically on the point of this video, the monetization. So all of that jargon, and you're wondering what the fuck are they talking about? Me and you are on the same page. Anybody worth their brain cells should know exactly what they're getting into. That applies to life and anything you get into in life. With that said, everyone should know how a free-to-play game works. So if you're one of those people that need a how-to on spending your money wisely, then not only do you have no business playing any free-to-play games, but you should have never downloaded Pokemon Unite in the first place. That's a big key, because if you can't practice restraint, then what is the point exactly of getting upset at the money-grubbing con artists that create shit like this for the very purposes of robbing you of all of your monetary responsibilities if you're going to be smooth-brained enough to mindlessly hand it to them? Let's address the obvious elephant in the room. Yes, you can play any game outside of microtransactions for free, but how they structure these games is not really brilliant, but it's brilliant for the prey that they intend to reel in. Sure, you can play Pokemon Unite without purchasing any of these things, but the game is designed to be competitive and to give incentives to microtransactions. So with that said, can you now see the catch-22 here? So if you're one of those people that mean to be competitive, bragging rights is your thing. You're the best in a video game, and that's what you're gonna take to your grave. Games like this are designed to prey on you with the mental gymnastics of the incentivized microtransactions. It's not only the fact that those items above are tide turners, but the achievements in Pokemon Unite, currently anyway, are glacial. Here's the rundown of how much of your life energy will be dedicated to unlocking everything in Pokemon Unite. You're putting so much effort into all of this shit only to get so little back, and then when you look up at the finish line, you still can't see it. And of course, people will try to game or play the system, but to me, it's just nature taking its course. This is the type of environment in a free-to-play game. But what if you want to be sentient and play a free-to-play game for free? Well, here's another example of the battle of attrition that you will be fighting. All of that can be summed up by this simple sentence: the game is free to play, but top-tier competitive play may require a long grind or a hefty investment, which at the end of the day is just business, ladies and gents. Now, I could go into great detail on explaining every single aspect of all of the microtransactions, but that would be a complete waste of time because it would end up converging on the central point being made here. This is how free-to-play games work, and let's be honest, people disregard that, support that, and then bitch and moan about it as if this market, and any industry for that matter, isn't saturated with these two-faced consumers. People who only know how to settle because they set the bar so low, but end up being the same people bitching and moaning about something they're initially vehemently against. Come on guys, you can literally Google the statistics and see how many people have downloaded Pokemon Unite so far, and maybe even get some statistics on how much money has been thrown at this game, let alone mean old scummy 10 cents. So why do you think stuff like this gains so much traction? This is the message you're sending them. You know about the egregious amounts of money they plan to reel in from you. You're not the victims, you're the volunteers. People had all that to say about 10 cent initially. honestly. And then you realize the reality of a free-to-play game and that your scumbag 10 Cent and friends have validated your initial take on them last year, only for people to support it regardless. Again, what sense does it make? All people are doing at the end of the day is having a tug of war in the bragging rights line. All you can say is that I'm better than you. None of this can be applied to the real world, save for an empty-ass lint-filled wallet after you're done empowering con artists that make shit like this to reel you in hook, line, and sinker. You should know what to expect if you dive deep in that rabbit hole of microtransactions. To me, it stops at me purchasing a game as I'm reminded of the good old days where they made complete games at that. No DLC. Oh, it goes deeper than microtransactions. How many years have people been supporting DLC, but yet people still support stuff like that rather than a complete game? If I can't have a complete experience with a one-time fee, fuck them. Let's not act like they don't get paid per download and to have their shit in some kind of Play Store. Oh yeah, that's right. Pokemon Unite has yet to launch on mobile devices. And you guys are shitting kittens now over microtransactions? That's the dilemma. That can be boiled down to you making one of two choices. You either work smart or hard. I'll let you decide which is truly which. While you can argue that Pokemon Unite technically isn't a pay-to-win game, how many of these games with microtransactions are actually pay-to-win games? After all, I won't be a narcissistic, condescending, and gatekeeping asshole that will argue something that is ultimately subjective. The key thing to look at when it comes to these sorts of things, these games with microtransactions, is how they incentivize said microtransactions. Again, you're left in a work hard or smart scenario. You either fight the battle of attrition by playing the game for free at the expense of getting left behind competitively, or you give in to the incentivized microtransactions, which will objectively give you that competitive advantage because you just paid for that win condition. So fuck the semantics. We all know that this is ultimately a free-to-play game, but it can also be argued to that end to have a pay-to-win element. Ultimately, guys, this is at the discretion of every single one of you. And the best thing to come out of Unite, since you know it just released a couple of days ago, is that all of this stuff is highly likely to be tentative anyway. They're bound to change things, update the game, if you will. So for the foreseeable future, I guess you have that hope to keep alive. Either way, guys, you don't have to worry about being attacked by that very same narcissistic, condescending, and gatekeeping asshole who will also tell you how bad you are at the game. Get out of their way of using a child's video game as some kind of crowning achievement, like the toxic and elitist small dick energy who has nothing better to do with their life than rage quit over said fake ass achievement. Either way, know what you're getting into. Make your own damn decisions. By the way, check the video's description for a couple of articles on this monetization that Pokemon Unite currently has going on. And above all else, have fun.